I asked my girlfriend of 2 years for something I've been fantasizing about for months. She looked me straight in the eyes and said yes. I should have been thrilled, right? But when I saw the pain behind her smile, I realized I had just made the biggest mistake of my relationship. What happened next will shock you. Stay until the end, because this story takes a turn nobody expected. Look, I need to be completely honest with you guys. I'm a 20-something guy dating the most incredible woman I've ever met. Let's call her Sarah. We've been together for a couple of years now, and when I say she's perfect, I mean it. She's smart, she's kind, she's beautiful, and she's one of the most genuine people I've ever known in my life. When I think about my future, I picture us 50 years from now, sitting on a porch swing together as two old people who are still completely in love. That's the kind of connection we have. That's how deep this goes.
But here's where things get complicated. For months now, I've had this recurring fantasy. And I know what you're thinking, but hear me out. I kept imagining us having an intimate encounter with another woman. No one specific, just this idea that kept popping into my head randomly. Now, before you judge me, let me give you some context. Sarah and I have always been pretty adventurous. We've explored different things together. We've tried spontaneous encounters. We've been experimental. We've even had another woman in the room before during an intimate moment. So in my mind, this felt like maybe just one more adventure we could share together.
I couldn't figure out why this fantasy wouldn't leave my mind. Was it because it felt like the last item on some imaginary list? Was it because I thought having someone else there would take pressure off me? Was it something I'd seen in adult content, even though we rarely watch that stuff and usually together? Honestly, I had no idea, but it was there, constantly, in the back of my mind. Here's the thing about Sarah and me. We tell each other everything. Complete transparency, no secrets. It's one of the foundations of our relationship. So naturally, even though I was nervous, I decided to just ask her directly. One evening, I gathered up all my courage and said, "Sarah, I need to talk to you about something. I've been thinking about us trying something new together. What would you think about us being with another woman?"
The room went completely silent. She didn't react immediately. She just sat there, thinking. I could see her processing what I just asked. And then, after what felt like forever, she said she wasn't interested. I'm not gonna lie, I was disappointed, but I respected her answer completely. I told her that was totally fine, and I appreciated her honesty. I thought that was the end of it. But about 24 hours later, something happened that changed everything. Sarah came back to me and said, "You know what? Fine. If it makes you happy, we can do it." At first, I was excited. I couldn't believe she changed her mind. My fantasy was actually going to become reality. But then I made the mistake of actually looking at her, really looking at her. And that's when I saw it.
Her eyes told a completely different story than her words. Behind that forced smile, I could see pain. I could see discomfort. I could see a woman who was willing to hurt herself just to make me happy. She didn't want this, not even a little bit. She was just agreeing because she loved me and wanted me to be satisfied. In that moment, everything became crystal clear. This wasn't about us sharing an adventure. This wasn't about crossing off some bucket list item. This was about me being selfish and putting my fantasy above her comfort and happiness. I looked at her and said, "No, absolutely not. Let's forget I even brought this up. Let's go open some champagne and celebrate us instead."
You guys, the relief on her face was instant and overwhelming. She literally shouted, "Thank God!" and let out this huge sigh like she'd been holding her breath for a full day. She even joked that I needed to read the Bible more because what I was suggesting would be wrong. And just like that, she seemed to forget the whole thing ever happened. Everything went back to normal between us. But here's my problem. Here's why I'm telling you this story. Even though I made the right decision, even though I saw her pain and chose her happiness over my fantasy, even though I know without a doubt that I want to spend my life with this woman and only this woman, I can't stop thinking about it. The fantasy still pops into my head randomly. I'll be doing something completely normal, and suddenly my brain goes, "Remember that thing you wanted to try?" It's like my mind won't let it go, even though my heart knows it's not worth risking what I have.
I would never, and I mean never, be unfaithful to Sarah. That's not even a possibility in my world. The only way this could potentially harm our relationship is if I stupidly made a joke about it and upset her, which I absolutely will not let happen. So here I am, stuck in this weird mental space. I have the most amazing partner anyone could ask for. Someone who loves me so much, she was willing to do something that would hurt her just to make me happy. Someone I want to grow old with. Someone who is literally everything I could ever want. And yet, this stupid fantasy won't completely disappear from my thoughts. I know the obvious answer is just to grow up and move on. Trust me, if it were that easy, I would have done it already. But the human brain doesn't always work that logically, does it?
Here's what I've learned from this whole experience, though. Love isn't about getting everything you want. It's not about checking off every fantasy or desire you've ever had. Real love is about looking into someone's eyes and choosing their happiness over your own temporary pleasure. When Sarah said yes to something she clearly didn't want, she showed me how much she loves me. But when I said no after seeing her pain, that's when I showed her how much I love her. That moment of choosing her over my fantasy, that was more intimate and meaningful than any physical experience could ever be.
I'm telling you this story because maybe some of you are dealing with something similar. Maybe you have a partner who would do anything for you, even things that hurt them. And maybe you need to hear this. Their comfort and emotional safety is worth more than any fantasy. Will I ever completely stop thinking about what could have been? Maybe not. But every time that thought pops up, I'm going to remind myself of the relief in Sarah's eyes when I chose her. And that's going to be enough. Because 50 years from now, when we're sitting on that porch swing together, I want to look back and know that I always put her first, that I always chose love over selfishness. And honestly, that's the best fantasy I could ever have.
If this story resonated with you, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Have you ever had to choose between what you wanted and what was right for your relationship? I'd love to hear your stories. And listen, we post real relationship stories like this every single week. Stories about love, mistakes, growth, and everything in between. So if you want to see more content like this, visit our channel and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. Remember, relationships aren't about perfection. They're about choosing each other every single day, even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.